Getting ready, getting set. Yes, sir. I see that. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Medical Mondays with Dr. O. Welcome to the forum where we get stronger and healthier. I'm Dr. Toyin Joe-Bassey, a family practitioner, HIV specialist, and I treat substance use disorder in Maryland. I just get excited every week to come to learn myself and to disseminate congent current medical information, as well as any information that can improve our health. While we do this, we do not establish doctor-patient relationship. We do this to better our health, but will assist to connect and to point in the right direction when needed. Tonight, we are blessed by one of our very own, Myron Aburo, who is also a pastor, by the way, Toyin Joe-Bassey. She's an amazing woman whose interest is to help us all gain better health by lifestyle changes. She's a diet and lifestyle coach, and she's joining us tonight in the morning from Nigeria at 1 a.m. in the morning. It's after 1 a.m. So thank you so much for staying.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
She's definitely the one we need. Tell us how to eat eba happily.
Yes, you can eat eba happily, and I will tell you the type of eba that you should eat. Okay, let me just tell you a bit about my own story. I battled with a lot of ailments. First off, from childhood, I battled with asthma for 50-something years, let's say. And then 20 years ago, I started having a lot of funny experiences. The moment I got married, a lot of experiences in my health. And 14 years ago, I was very ill and I had to go for a checkup, and they discovered that I had 6 cardiovascular complications. And because there's a name doctors call it, but I don't know it, I don't know the name, but that if I was treated for one, the other will get worse, I might die. So the doctors were afraid to give me any medication. They just gave me propranolol for a couple of days. And then because I was not also sleeping, they gave me Lexotan and for a couple of days and just go. And I thank God that it did that, because it was God just made it in such a way that I met like an angel. Otherwise, they would have given me medication and complicated my issue. Maybe I would not be here speaking today. So it was like every day I woke up, I would look at myself and say, so you are still here. And it's the kind of complication that my heart was pumping less than half the quantity of blood, as 2.13 liters of blood instead of 4.5 liters of blood. Oxygen circulation poor. My lungs had collapsed. I was having arrhythmia. My cardiac output was very low. I had what is it? Something called infarction. I'd had a heart attack. You know, the medical terms and all of that. And so I was, of course, in a place of prayer, and then God just began to turn my eyes to nature. And well, I joined a few network companies and started getting better. yet I had a lot of issues. But my first very shocking experience was with a herbalist that I went to her shop and she gave me a shot glass of about, maybe, a mug of about 15 mils. She put something in it, and in 15 minutes, I was sleeping. This is me that would struggle to sleep at night. And I was like, there's something about this I need to know. And then she told me how she healed her bones with herbs. She was going for surgery. She had a very terrible accident and was going for surgery abroad and met a Greek herbalist. And the woman showed her herbs, and that was how she healed her bones. She did not go for the surgery again. I said, man, I'm interested in this, especially since there was no help coming for me. And this is how I began to study about nature. And then my second encounter was with blood type diet. And I began to go more on the fruits and the vegetables on my blood type diet, and I started getting better. It's been a really long journey for me. And then in the course of my journey, some people call me Babalawo because I began to ask God about every time I was not feeling well. I would ask God, what should I do? And he always turned my eyes to nature. Eventually, I discovered that diet and lifestyle changes are the secret to wellness. I always tell people that no matter how powerful the medication you are given is, no matter how strong that remedy that you have been recommended is, without a change in your diet and your lifestyle, you cannot sustain the wellness you will get from what was given to you. Many people like the quick fix thing, like taking Panadol. The headache is gone. In fact, that's the last thing I do. I don't even think of medication when I feel ill. That's not the first thing. I just think of food. What food will I take to get better? And I've seen the world calls it intuition, but I know it's the Spirit of God, speak to my heart at different times on what to take. There was a time I had a very bad infection, and I was like, God, what do I do? God said, go and take Ephedrine for 10 days. I'd taken the medication. I went back for the test. The infection was just there like rock Gibraltar, not shaking. So I said, God, I don't want to take antibiotics again. And he said, go and take Ephedrine. Ephedrine, I don't know, I guess most of us are at least Nigerians. Ephedrine is a type of bacille. It's one of the many species of bacille, our own local, the other people call it scent leaf. And he told me how to take it. Pound, squeeze out the juice, drink it, the remaining sprinkle on your food, and for 10 days. When they took my sample back, I was clean. So I believe that, and then, of course, it's not that I had so much knowledge of it, but, just trusting God. And so that took me into studying a little bit more about food and herbs and spices. And even though I still look at my book every time, at least I have an idea of what some of these foods do and some of these spices. So eventually, I also came across other things that are useful for wellness. First of all, understanding the fact that life starts from the cellular level. The cells are the basic form of life, not just human life, plant life, animal life, human life, cells. And so we are only as healthy as our cells. The quality of our cells determine the quality of the health of our body and the quality of our life. I know that sickness is is not just a destroyer, a disruptor and a distractor, and so, but I know God has also provided for us by his word the right grade of nourishment that will bring us out of sickness into health, which as mentioned in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 29. And also, I discovered that my emotions had also a lot of role to play in my wellness. When I'm happy, I'm healthier. And so it made me to go and study. I went to study nutrition. I also went to study holistic wellness and, began to practice. And here are some of the things that I discovered. That one, the way what we eat matters as much as how we eat and what time of the day we eat it. Because our bodies are, God has already built into our DNA the ability to self-heal. That is why when we have a cut on our bodies, the cut heals without medication. That is how God has created us. And because also God has put in us a system where cells are regenerated, there is a continuous process of recreation of cells as cells die. And, I discovered that if we can maintain a particular type of diet and lifestyle for a season of our lives, sicknesses will die. Most diagnoses come late. When somebody is diagnosed with cancer, it's probably been in the body for 4 years or 5 years, So if we can change our diet and lifestyle, well, my own tilt, the understanding that I have from the things I've studied is to a plant-based diet. Now, people that do keto, I cannot do keto. I tried it once and my my urea, my creatinine levels, everything just shot up. So I just told myself, this is not for me. Let me just go to where I know that I will do well. And that's how I went toward the plant-based diet. And what I've discovered is that I am getting better. If you had seen me last year, you would just tell me that you're looking different. You're looking more radiant. You've lost weight. It was 2 days ago, some days ago, I was going out and I was like, oh, but I didn't take my inhaler. And the Lord asked me, when last did you use it? So I didn't do anything like target the breathing issue. I just shifted more to plant-based diet. That's what I did. And so let me just explain the eating pattern that I adopted and that I've recommended and coaching others to adopt. Because our body has its own, first of all, our bodies are self-healing machines. Our DNA already has that information coded into it to heal. All right. So when we provide the body with the right fuel, which is living foods for our living cells, there's a kiss between nature and our bodies, and that turns into a productive relationship that culminates in our wellness. So first of all, there's a way the body works and we have to align to it. I think when I change from this location to another location, my body will just follow me gradually and change into the timing of that location. So there are 3 food processing systems in the body. The first one is that in the morning, between 4 a.m. and 12 noon, detoxification and cleansing is taking place. Between 4 a.m. and 12 noon, detoxification and cleansing is taking place. Between 12 noon and 8 p.m., it is absorption, food absorption. That is what is taking place. Food absorption, and then food digestion is taking place. Then between 12 midnight and 4 a.m., that is when rejuvenation, restoration, recreation, and replenishment is taking place. So what we eat in each of these time windows matters a lot. Okay, so from 4 a.m. to 12 noon, what we should be taking are living foods, raw fruits, vegetables, smoothies, juices, nuts, seeds. And of course, you know, the first thing is water. So I don't need to overemphasize on that. So water, 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 water. And I'm going to tell you about one thing I suggested to my clients lately, and that is cloves water. I discovered it deeply cleanses and does a lot of healing and rejuvenation. It's so powerful that a woman who had lost her menses, within a few days of using the cloves water cleanse, her menses was restored. Another woman who always had painful sexual intercourse, through the cloves water, she said for the first time, she began to have a healthy moisture. And for the first time, she had free, joyful, those are her words, joyful sex, no pain, you know. So it's so powerful that it cleanses you and rejuvenates you, but it has a lot of other benefits. Now, so from 12 to 8, you can eat your cooked food, but only one cooked food a day. You can eat your cooked food, only one cooked food. But before you eat that cooked food, you will take a vegetable salad, a mini vegetable salad without any animal part. You take without any animal part. You know, from what I learned, because the person from whom I got this how would I say, framework is Dr. Tony Akinyemi. My father had been telling me, because my father, of course, some of you know him. My father is about 100 years old, and he's like a stone, you know, he's like a stone. So he'd been telling me, and I've been looking at him and just watching what he does and trying to follow what he does. But until I went into this school, which funny enough, my father paid for that training for me and said, you must attend this class. And that's how my own life began to change also, you know. So you take your mini salad, and I discovered that actually I can survive without animal protein. That's the truth. I discovered I could do without it. Some days sometimes for 2 weeks, I'm not eating anything, meat or fish or anything. Not because they're not healthy, but because I just naturally have a problem with eating. So I get satiated easily. So once I take my salads, I just make sure that I add nuts to the salads and all that. You can do mushrooms if you want, because it's plant. And then thereafter, you can eat your cooked food. After your cooked food, relax. If you get hungry, it just has to be at least 3 hours later. Don't pile up on, you know, I know that sometimes loneliness, depression, disappointments can just make us to, you know, binge eat, you know, but, you know, you can go a healthier way. Go for garden eggs, carrots, cucumbers, zucchinis, and any other thing that is healthy to snack on, anything that will aid your digestion to snack on. I also had studied that somewhere that many times when you're hungry, drink water first. Drink water first. So that's what I do many times when I'm hungry. I first of all drink water, because the brain does not understand the difference between hunger and thirst many times. So I drink water first, and then that's it. After that, if I take anything, it's something natural or green. In the night, get a big bowl of salad and consume it. So that is it for the day. You can take your teas, you can take your vegetable broths, at night, no animal part. Now, once we are able to optimize this 8-hour processes of the body's food processing system, we will start rejuvenating and start repairing. So at night, when we are able to move from that maybe 8 p.m. to 12 in the afternoon, that's intermittent fasting already. It's just naturally incorporated into the system of what you do. And of course, many of us who are medical people here, we know what autophagy or autophagy. I don't know American and British because we're all here. It kicks in and I'm telling you, it heals a lot of people. I've seen people in my coaching class that have been healed of things that are shocking. A woman who joined my coaching class, within 2 weeks, her enlarged heart returned back to normal size. Her ulcer was healed. Another person who had been battling with blood pressure that is usually 200/110, within 18 days, his blood pressure had dropped to 112/72. So I've seen the thing work in people like almost like magic. And then, of course, for those who want to lose weight, they just lose weight seamlessly. So this is what I always recommend to people. There are a lot of other things, but it's like an entire system. It's like a body work that works properly. Now, that is about food intake. Like we were chatting before, another thing about diet, I always tell people is news is diet. News is diet. Watch what you listen to. There was a day my husband asked me, does it mean there's no good thing happening in the world? Why is the news always reporting calamity, disaster, deaths, and all of that? I said, because the prince of the power of the air is in charge of the news, And I also have discovered that anything that is, that is being harped in the news is a lie, We have our own truth, which is the word of God. And then like during the COVID time, the news was very scary for me. Very, very scary. So I covered my head. And then the Lord began to speak to me. And God told me a lot of things. And then after God tells me, I will then see it in the news. And I discovered that God was speaking to me and telling me what to do and telling me a lot of things. And in fact, it was God that told me, oh, get back into this, because I had stopped this work, this business. And he said, get back into this. And I got back into, my production and all of that. So news is another type of diet. You need to be careful the type of news that you listen to. Another type of diet is your relationships. Any relationship that causes you trauma, that shrinks you, that doesn't activate your destiny, your purpose, and your joy is not a healthy diet. You need to pull back. You need to ask God for wisdom on how to manage that relationship or pull out of it. It's very difficult in marriage, but God's grace will give us wisdom to navigate when it is not a healthy marriage, because nobody's going to tell you to leave your spouse. But if the man or the woman is chasing you with a dagger, or with a knife, or with a gun, please don't let anybody tell you. Just be wise. You can't live in fear. You can't sleep in fear. You can't rest when you are afraid. All right. So that is about diet. So now let's talk about, I did a series on my Instagram page called Our Favorite Poisons. They're our favorite poisons because we love them so much, but they're poisoning our system. We love that. They taste, some of them taste so yummy. Some of them taste so sweet. Some of them make us feel cool, but they are very poisonous to our system. And then if you're going to adopt this new diet and lifestyle, you have to knock them off. And all of them have replacements, as a matter of fact. All of them have replacements. So I'm going to mention a couple of them. Number one, white rice. You know, in Nigeria, white rice is our staple food now. You know that. So when I say white rice, the kind of frowns I get, I just tell them, it's your body. Anything you want to put inside, put in it. But I can tell you for fact, but white rice is not healthy. Although there are other schools of thought, but I can tell you from my own personal experience that you can go for other types of rice. You can go for local rice. In Nigeria, we have Ofada rice. There's Abakaliki rice. You can go for brown rice. You can go for basmati rice. You can go for konjac rice, just rice, all those rices, small rices. You can go the extreme and go for cauliflower rice. I've tried that before. It's quite interesting. Cauliflower rice, yeah. You can go for quinoa, you know. Do you know that I did a study on the taste buds, and I discovered that it takes just 2 weeks to change the tongue cells. So in 2 weeks, you can actually change your taste. But we also have products that actually alter your taste. That's one of the things that this diet and lifestyle, we do a 30-day wellness challenge. We actually started the preparations today for the March class, but we're going to start on the 1st to begin to practice full-time the challenge. You can join us if you are interested, please. And I discovered that one of the things that happen to people is that their taste changes. Their taste buds just start rejecting all those things that were taken before. So we talked about white rice, then white flour. White flour, you know, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. So when I began to read the chemicals that I used to bleach these things, man, I just asked myself, what is this what we're taking? White flour, oh my goodness, no. I bake and I use I have tiger nut flour. That's what I used to bake. I have tiger nut flour here. That's what I used to bake my foods. I have protein milk. I have protein powder. I use this also to bake. And I use dates as my sweetener. If you really love to bake, there are a lot of healthy alternatives like oats, you know, amaranth. You can go for any other healthy alternative to white flour. All those things are cancer feeders. Cancer really loves and embraces white flour. Let's just move away. White sugar, it is well low. I can't even remember the last time that one crossed my mouth. And anything that contains it. White sugar and anything that contains it. Packaged juices are really, really terrible. They will come and tell us that, oh, it is natural. I produce drinks, and I can tell you for a fact that natural things cannot last more than a day. No, because immediately you blend it, the enzyme action kicks in. So except it is frozen, it's going to start decaying. So there must be a preservative in any package. I don't take packaged juices anymore. I don't deceive myself saying that it is natural. It is not natural. I can tell you for a fact. When you read the product information, they've coined a lot of names for them. They've coined a lot of names right now for all the poison that we are taking. You just need to be careful. Please, if you can avoid packaged drinks, avoid them. You can produce your own shots, wellness shots. You can produce your drinks. You can plan your meals. Like if you want to do smoothies, look for containers. Just put the smoothie quantity you need for a smoothie per time and freeze them. Bring them out, throw them in your blender or your liquefier or whatever it is. Blend your thing and take it away. Or make sure you have this mobile mobile blender, you can carry along and blend with it. Milk, milky. Milk is poison most of the time, SARS and MARS. I have my own milk. I have almond milk. I use coconut milk. I produce them in my factory. Yeah. So I use natural as much as I can. Because I mean, if anybody needs to be on natural things, I need to because of the health issues I've had, and it's working. It's working miracles for me. Milk is very poisonous. And the reason is because, especially where you people are, it is well. The only thing that is not GMO now is human beings. Am I right? Doctor, am I right? Yes, the only thing that is not GMO is human beings. So even when they call that thing organic, you can't tell for a fact that it is organic, So most of the cows and the cattle, over there, they're always, being vaccinated with all kinds of things, and also growth hormones, And when I studied about, milk and meat, I discovered that there are substances, they have big names that I don't cram those names, but they are toxic to women, especially because it affects the estrogen levels for women. And for some of them, it can induce cancers. For some of them, it can induce infertility. So it's something we need to be careful about. And then most importantly, it doesn't really break down and get absorbed into our system as adults. Once somebody is above the age of 10, I don't think that person should take cow milk again. In fact, we are the only people that take other mammals' meal. Why? We should just go to plants. There's a lot of milk in plants. Seeds, nuts, you can produce your milks by yourself. If milk is so precious, just go for coconut milk, go for almond milk. There are a lot of milk you can go for. Sometimes I even do granite milk, but I'm not high on granite, so it doesn't interest me that much. But when I produce my drinks, I need to do granite milk for people, especially with diabetes, things like that is what they need. They need that high concentration. Granules have a very high concentration of proteins. So that's the kind of thing diabetics need. Pasta, they're the same family. Please, if you can avoid it, avoid it. MSGs. If you know the history of Maggi, you will not even take it again. You will not take it again. I produce my own seasoning, but most of the time, once I have sea salt. Like what is here is sea salt. This sea salt, bags of sea salt. I have sea salt and I have crayfish in a moderate quantity, because even those ones too contain a lot of mercury. So you use everything in moderation. There's something called the principle of moderation in wellness. So you use everything in moderation. But if I have this, my crayfish and onions, my seasoning is almost complete. And then I use my vegetables. There's a way I produce it anyway. Then I cube them. That one is a long story. I don't do Maggi. In fact, the Maggi is crying right now because I've not used it in a long time. White salt, same thing. Avoid it. Chlorine gas is one of the things used to whiten white salt. And also there's a chemical you put inside it to prevent it from caking. Those are not things that we should continually put in our bodies. Of course, we know that white salt has already been tagged for, sodium. Sodium has been tagged for blood pressure issues. Yes, but apart from sodium, there are a lot of chemicals in white salt. And what else am I leaving? Of course, Coca-Cola, everybody knows that one. Whether it's Diet Coke or not Diet Coke, is Coke. Coke is Coke. What made the Coke? Is unhealthy for the body. Then the gas that God has said we should breathe out, God has created us to breathe out, is what we consume. Taking Coke. We are going against the grid, you know. I always tell people that wellness is a worship to God, is an appreciation and an acknowledgement of God, what he wants for me, what he created for me, my utilizing it. It makes everything easy for myself. I'm telling you, there are things that don't need faith. They just need a switch. Just change your diet and you're fine. You're already fine, because the change in diet is already a prayer. It's already a worship to God. Of course, we know about saturated fats and, you know, all of those things. I always ask people for things that they really think they must eat. If you don't eat it, will you die? It's a fun thing. You enjoy eating it, but if you don't eat it, will you die? Like ice cream, like chocolates. I produce my own chocolates, so I don't sell them though. They are for my consumption, because we have raw cocoa in Nigeria. We have raw cocoa in Nigeria, and I have all my milks. I just mix my thing and get my chocolate. I put in the freezer and I chill it and I enjoy it. And for those who really love ice cream, there's a machine now where you put your frozen fruits in it, you press it, it comes like ice cream, so fruit cream. You just take your fruit cream and you go on. Your health is more important than your pleasure. If once we have that understanding, you will now begin to find a way to create healthy, pleasurable stuff. Once you make up your mind, the wherewithal to create healthy foods will begin to come to you. Okay, I think I've talked too much.
Hey.
So I'm open for questions and answers.
You have not. You know what? I just want to stop for us to just praise God, because you texted me earlier today telling me your internet carrier had problems.
Yes.
And
yes.
you worried about being able to even log on. And
yes.
I thought, okay, let me think of what we would do if that happens. But I responded to you. What did I say?
He said it will work. He said it will work. That's what you said.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God.
By the grace of God. And because the grace of God is sufficient for us. And your internet has been fantastic. You've been on even, like 20 minutes at the least before we started. And here you are. And I just had to stop to say, thank you, Lord. God has been good. Thank you, because we need the wealth of knowledge you just gave us. You've given us a mouthful. And I have some questions for you. So please, audience, if you have questions, you know what to do. Raise your hands so you can ask it yourself or put it in the chat box. If you like me to be your mouthpiece, I will be glad to do that. So you said something about closed water cleanse.
Cloves. Okay, cloves water cleanse. Yes.
What is that?
Okay, there's something called cloves. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. Are we familiar with cloves? Cloves is a spice. I have it here.
Yes.
But it's too back.
Yes.
It's a spice. We use it in Nigeria to make kunu. Kunu is a millet drink. We also use it to do tiger nut drink. But I discovered that it's very powerful, and it's a deep cleanser. It's a deep cleanser. It actually cleanses into the liver. It cleanses it. It's like it cleanses your bloodstream, your blood fluid, your body fluid. It just cleanses. So how the clove water cleanse works is that you take a teaspoon of cloves, and you put it inside 2 liters of purified water. So maybe your spring water, I want to believe that your spring water, because I always, we use some special water here. But for those of us that have alkaline water, you can put it in your alkaline water.
How about boiling the water and then using the boiled water?
Yeah. Well, some people want to boil the water, but if you can get clean water, just get clean water. Because change in temperature of water also affects the properties of water. So except you boil the water, cool it before putting the cloves. I don't know if it will affect its potency. Heat affects things differently. So, but it's up to each person how they do it. Now, 2 liters of water, so 1 teaspoon of cloves to 2 liters of water. You soak it overnight as you put it in the water and leave it to the morning. So morning as you're waking up, behold your cloves water, it's already golden brown. You start sipping it. Now, ideally, your water intake in a day should be, you calculate it using your weight. Like me now, I'm about 72 kilograms. So I divide that by 30, and that's 2.4 liters of water every day. That is what I should be taking. So if you are 50 kg, I will not calculate your own, because just be taking 2.5 liters. Don't take less. Especially in your cold climate, there's a temptation because you're not feeling thirsty, you're not feeling parched. But dehydration is at the root of so many ailments that we don't even know. Even blood pressure and ulcer. Do you know that in our own holistic wellness world, why you medical people believe that it is H. pylori? No, we believe that it is dehydration and lack of sufficient physical activity that causes ulcers. I'm telling you, yeah, it's dehydration. So now if you're taking your 2 liters of clove water in that day, you will now add 400 mils, so 40 cl of water to make up for your water intake. So the clove water will be part of your water intake for the day. So you can drink that clove water throughout the day. You understand it now? So if you are doing 2.5 liters of water, you take your 2 liters of clove water, you will finish that water with the cloves. If your clove is not grinded enough, make sure that you blend it with your smoothie, please. Just finish that clove water. So I always suggest a 5 to 7 day cleanse for the cloves water. Then any other thing you want to do, you do it, so that you can concentrate your efforts in the cleansing process of your body. And as far as I have studied, nobody has ever complained about the clove water. So I think cloves will be good for most people.
Thank you so much. Although we actually don't believe that H. pylori causes cancer. We feel, we know.
No, not cancer, ulcer.
Sorry, ulcer. We know that H. pylori can be, the cause of reflux in some people. Ulcers do happen, but hydration, we do believe in hydration on our side of medicine, and we encourage everyone to, hydrate well. So I'm with you. Thank you so much for that. I wrote that in the chat box. I don't know if, I wrote correctly, but while I'm going to call on Mr. Michael to ask his question, if you will please post in the chat box as soon as you're able. The what fascinated me with what you do, the learning center, the free learning center in preparation for the 30-day group challenge, so that anyone interested in the group challenge, the 30-day group challenge, can participate in it. So if you post that, that would be fantastic. I know you have a link to that. I'll send that also to WhatsApp.
Okay, let me go out.
No, don't go out. Don't go out.
I'm going out. Don't worry about me. I'm still here. You can see my face, I'm sure.
Yes, I can. I can see that, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm trying to go get the link. That's what I mean.
Oh,
going out.
Oh my gosh. My big bro, my Alagba, Pastor Michael is the one who wrote Michael. Oh my gosh. Welcome, sir. So please go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Ho, for organizing this particular presentation. I've been enjoying it so much, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you, and thank you. Regarding my sister, I enjoy your presentation. That was very, very informative, very powerful.
Yes, sir.
In fact, I've been practicing that intermittent fasting, and it's been very, very helpful. I have everything, all these medical issues, diabetes, blood pressure, high cholesterol, and when they check everything was normal. But I noticed that my mom had blood sugar, and I tried to make sure that I didn't get it. So I didn't get it until last year after 60. So now it's like my blood pressure, when you first take it, it goes up to maybe 120 over 110. Then when you take it again in 1 minute, it comes down to 140 over 80. Then later on, you take it the third time, it comes down to 120 over 80. That fluctuation is like in every minute, it changes. So, and I've been taking my blood pressure medication. They couldn't find what the problem, what my body has been going through. So I started doing the intermittent fasting, and I've been losing weight. Right now, I'm at my ideal body weight, yet my blood pressure is still fluctuating. It's very scary. So I want you to please tell me again the best time to eat in order to meet that particular goal, and what to do to normalize this BP issue. Hello?
Hello.
She said she's been out.
I think she might have frozen. It looks like she's frozen. Yep. Okay, she dropped off. She'll come back in. Yeah, I think she dropped off. So, Pastor, I wanted to say that the blood pressure does fluctuate, by second. It does. Oh, Papa, sir, welcome, sir. Papa, mine.
Welcome. Here all the time.
So, Papa, please. Papa is a naturopathic doctor, world-renowned. Can you fill in and answer that question, sir?
You're on the right track. Blood pressure fluctuates throughout the day.
Okay.
The average is what is important, so you shouldn't worry.
Okay.
You are eating right. I am witness to that. I can't believe it. I've not seen you in a while. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You've lost a lot of weight. You look absolutely amazing. And you know me, I'll pick on anybody.
Oh, yes.
When you need to lose weight.
Oh, yes.
So you're doing all the right things. I think if we heard Toyin correctly, she did say something about news, that we have to be careful the news we hear. The reason she said that is because bad news causes stress. When you hear something that, bad news, it will cause you to stress. And stress is huge in impacting blood pressure negatively. So I want you not to stress about your blood pressure anymore, especially before you take it. You know, if you stress before you take your blood pressure, it's going to be high.
Exactly.
And, you may not realize it because you want it to be 120/80 or less. And
Why should it be?
already. So before taking your blood pressure, it is, helpful if you take deep breaths and then blow it out. Deep breaths, blow it out. You can do that for a few minutes to calm you down before you take the blood pressure. I'll also recommend, don't take your blood pressure incessantly, like, just all through the day, and all that.
That's anxiety.
It will provoke anxiety in
Exactly.
anyone. Yes. You're doing fantastic.
What will provoke anxiety?
You're taking the pressure every time.
Oh, okay.
Don't take it 5 times a day.
Yeah.
No, I take it twice or 3 times a week.
Oh, that's all right. That's okay.
Okay.
But going to 200/110 and suddenly drop down to 140/80, 120/82. I don't know why it does that. It just go up high, all the way high. Then all of a sudden, boom, drastically, it comes down.
There's another thing, it's important to empty one's bladder before you take your blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dr. Cap just texted that to me to remind people, empty your bladder before you do that. Then
also, if she overworked himself last night and didn't sleep at 10 but slept at midnight, and he wakes up and he takes his blood pressure, there will be a high difference.
Oh, okay.
Sleep is huge. Sleep. If you don't sleep well, it will negatively impact your blood pressure. Another thing is, what do you use to measure your blood pressure? What kind of machine do you use? Because the wrist ones are not accurate. You want to use the blood pressure machine that has the cuff that you put around your arm.
Yeah, electronic ones. That's the one I've been using.
Yes, but they all electronic, but the one that you put around your arm is better.
Okay.
Than the wrist blood pressure measuring machine. Guess what? We have Dr. Izugu, cardiologist, on here. Dr. Izugu, can you chip in, sir, with that fluctuating blood pressure? I happen to know his habits. He exercises, he eats right. In fact, recently I was talking to him about incorporating things that he has taken off his food. It's like this man was going to starve himself. No meat, no chicken, no junk, no cake, no sugar. No, I'm like, what's left to eat? So he's doing the right things, but he says the blood pressure fluctuates from one end to the other.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, as with anything with blood pressure, whatever the stage, whatever the institution is, lifestyle modification and what you eat and all that is paramount. Okay. But you have to also then investigate what may be the triggers or what may be the underlying reason for blood pressure on the particular case. Everything that has been discussed here regarding stress, whatever, all those plays a role. But there's a modern underlying factor that may be a reason for hypertension that would require you to see a specialist that can then investigate that particular reason and then manage it appropriately. But in all those cases, it's gonna be important that even on the medication you may be on, that you're on medicines that protect the organs from the damage from blood pressure fluctuations while you are trying to figure out how to control it in a more permanent way. So there are specialists that deal with those conditions that you need to be able to work with. In addition, most importantly, to those lifestyle modification things which you're already doing, so there's no way to get around those ones. Those must be important, and what our sister was talking to us about in terms of the type of food to avoid are extremely very important. I mean, in our practice, we fight war with sodas and cokes and all that, getting people out of those things, because some people don't drink water. That's what they eat. They get more calories from those, canned foods and canned juices and all that than anything natural. So anyway, I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. And yeah, some people would say they're drinking diet. I'm glad you brought that up because diet sodas are probably worse than the regular ones because of the, saccharines and God knows what else, high fructose corn syrup that are hidden in them. So they're not just good for us to drink. But Pastor, we will get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
It is being suggested to me that we should have a session where we talk about blood pressure machine and how to use them properly. In the future, we would address that.
Okay.
But
Thank
I'll
you
chat
very
with you one-on-one.
Okay.
On that.
Okay. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, kudos to you because you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Auntie Tawa, go ahead, ma.
Good evening, everyone. My question is two parts. The first part is about the cloves. Are we supposed to grind it? And are we supposed to sift it or just drink the whole thing, whether grinded or not, just take the whole thing with the water? Then secondly, can we replace the white salt with Himalayan salt?
Excellent questions. And Toyin's not on the platform. I'm going to write this down so I can feed back to you because I had the salt question there too to ask her, but I didn't get to do that. Papa, can you answer those for us, sir? The salt, the white salt, Himalayan salt, or there's another salt. What kind of salt is that one again? That's sea salt. Sea salt also.
Sea salt.
What's your take, sir?
Sea salt is good for consumption. It contains some iodine, which is very important for the body. And it contains it in a balanced form. It's just a trace. So what you are calling Himalayan salt is almost equivalent to that sea salt. In Ghana, for example, they produce the sea salt. It's very coarse. They produce it directly from the sea. I don't know why we shouldn't do the same thing in Nigeria. We depend too much on this polished salt, this chemical. Then with the cloves, I have it in my shelf. I use it for some of my clients, and it's in the powdered form. You just add a little of it. It's like preparing tea, Just add the quantity she said should be added to the 2 liters of water. And overnight, you see that the liquid is completely brown. And that is what you drink. It's just like tea.
Thank you, sir. She said 1 teaspoon. I wrote it in the chat.
I hope, yes. I hope people know that clove. Those who, it's kanafuru.
No, I don't know it, but I'll find it.
You don't know it?
I don't know it, sir.
Yeah.
Please just Google it. Google it and let them show you the fruit of kanafuru or the fruit of clove.
Okay. So
as soon as you see it, you will know it is very common in West Africa.
If we don't get the powders and we get the fruit, can we blend it?
Yeah, you can blend it easily.
Okay.
It's very dry, brown.
Yes.
So she said 1 teaspoon of cloves in 2 liters of purified water.
Exactly.
Soak overnight. And on arousal, she said it will be golden brown. And you should add, if you are drinking for your weight, 2.4 liters for the whole day, add that to that cloved water and sip it all day long. She said to do it for 5 to 7 days for cleansing. Now, that's the clove cleanse. I hope your questions were answered, ma'am.
Yes, thank you very much.
Fantastic. So, Dr. Ajagbe, you can unmute, sir. Kindly unmute, sir. Prime Child Fawn, please unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about that. I was trying to charge my phone because it's running out of battery. Yeah, the comment I was going to make was about cloves. Cloves can be used not just in cold water. It has very, many benefits. The primary effect of clove is anti-inflammatory, as well as analgesics. So we use it in dentistry.
So analgesic meaning for pain.
For pain,
so
yes, it controls pain.
Okay.
So for people who have toothache, if all you have is clove, you can take care of your toothache right away if you have clove.
That's very true.
So we use that in dentistry. We use the oil of clove. And so it's, from that standpoint, even if you ingest it, it also works in the system as antioxidant. And it has oil. So the oil will not dissolve in cold water, but at least it can be miscible with hot water. So I use clove, ground clove, as part of my tea. So I add it just like you add cinnamon to your tea. So I add cinnamon, I add clove, and sometimes I add the Uda spice, which is, I think they call that one grain of paradise. So those are spices that can be used as part of tea. So.
Thank you so much, sir.
Just one comment. This is Dr. Booker. Thank you for allowing me to partake again tonight. I use clove when I'm making my cereal. I add it to my oatmeal. And I don't use a lot of ground clove because it's bitter. And if you happen to get clove from Grenada where it's grown, it is extremely strong. But I use it for lots of other. If I'm making something with milk, I always add clove, the sticks, or very little of the ground one because I fear it would be bitter. Thank you.
Don't leave yet, please. Where do you get the cloves from? Please guide us.
Any of the store. You can go to the Indian stores, or you could get any of the Hala Indian stores. They have it in packets. Or you could go to, I like that one. Or you could go to World Market. It's in the little bottles where the spices are.
Yeah, you can
and
get
whenever
it.
I travel, I buy it.
You can also get it from African stores.
Okay.
They're actually flour boards that are dried. They're aromatic and they're very useful in every way. So you can find it in African store or general, any grocery store. In the spices section, you can find the cloves there.
I use it in my sorrel drinks. Any drink I'm making, any fruit drink, I add cloves to it.
It's very interesting that nobody has ever told us that we can use cloves for even toothache. And toothaches
That
are,
was
oh
good.
my gosh, they kill us. Anybody that has ever had toothache will know that it is a behind kicker. This is fantastic to know that, just incorporating that into once, 5 to 7 days of something, will be taking care of so many other things. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm supposed to be going to Malawi, and with the dental students, I will tell them I will walk with some cloves.
Please. Please. And remember the cleanse, how she said we should do the cleanse. Yes. Our 4-year-old, the youngest participant on Medical Mondays, Kayani, is on there cheering on. Hello, Kayani. Auntie Toyin says hi. Sir, she's 4. She's our youngest audience, youngest participant. There every week.
Say hello, hi. Hello.
Hello, darling. Thank you. Love you.
I love you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Akintonde asked the question. Say, can you please say something about alkaline diet and its benefits? In particular, is it true that most diseases cannot survive in an alkaline environment, such as alkaline body? Is that true, sir?
100% true. 100% true. And generally, eating vegetables and fruits will bring that about.
Really? Because Professor, as a physician, I'm very skeptical about these alkaline things. I've seen people who have cancer and then they decide to go on this alkaline binge, and it has not helped. They all die. 100% so far that I've seen. And for me, as an allopath, I need the research. I want to see the numbers. I want to see that somebody is on the alkaline diet, which now, this is the first time actually, sir, that I've heard that it's fruits and vegetables rich diet. I never was really sure about what the alkaline diet was, but every single one, I've not seen that is worked. So
the normal way of doing it is
yes,
just to eat natural diet, which contains a lot of fruits and vegetables, organic ones.
okay. That's the
That's
key
all,
too.
not preserved ones,
That's
not
the key too.
processed
Organic.
ones.
Yes, organic, not processed. Yeah.
So you see, people in the villages are eating very well. They see pawpaw, they eat it. They see orange, they eat it. They see groundnuts, they eat it. And so on, coconut, they eat it. And they eat a very good vegetable. Unconsciously, they have alkaline bodies, and they are very healthy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that.
This is cloves.
This is what is that?
Cloves.
Cloves. Can you lift it up, ma? Wow. See, yes, ground cloves. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, ma. Dr. Jagbe, go ahead, sir.
When somebody has infection, let's say somebody has an abscess in their mouth, generally,
Sir, generally what, sir?
Generally acidic. That is, wherever you have any infection, is acidic. If you have any abscess, and when you give local anesthetic agent into that particular area, it will not become numb. So most of the time, from a dental standpoint, if anybody is having a dental abscess, we have to control the infection to some extent before they can be helped in terms of local anesthetic administration and extraction. So yes, alkalinity will reduce all kinds of systemic, inflammatory process. Wherever the inflammation is going on in the body, it will be kind of mediated to some extent, which can then be further treated by antibiotics if there is an acute infection.
Thank you so much for that enlightenment. I didn't know about cloves before. So there are questions here, sir, on how often do we need to use cloves cloves water for cleansing? And the question really is, Sister Lola takes cloves every day, 3 to 5 pieces in hot water. Ideally, how many pieces of cloves is good to take daily? It's really the question, sir.
When she was speaking about ground cloves. That's why she used the teaspoon,
Yes.
So whoever asked the question,
yes,
you shouldn't use the solid. You shouldn't use the flour or the dried flour. You should grind it. You cannot use, just the stick like that. So the thing has to be ground or broken into pieces for it to, dissolve into the water.
Mm-hmm. And then
the measurement has been given already. One teaspoon per 2 liters of water. Because if you make it very concentrated, clove is very sharp in the mouth, It has a burning sensation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an aromatic spice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pungent to the taste, but it also has subtle sweetness to it. Now, every time we use cloves, it's best to ingest it, not just drink the water. So when I use it for tea, the dredge I ingest as well. So usually for a teacup, for a tea mug, I will use like about 1/4 of a teaspoon, which is basically just like the tip of the teaspoon. I'll add it to my cup of coffee. Not coffee. I don't drink coffee. Any cup of tea that I'm drinking, well, I make my own blend of teas anyway. So when I do that, I just add the clove, the ground clove.
A pinch.
At the end, what did you say, sir?
A pinch, just a pinch.
Yes. So that's basically what I mean by, I don't know whether it is up to a 1/4 of a teaspoon, but it's always at the tip of the teaspoon. Mm-hmm. Now, when I use that, at the end, I will swirl the sediments of everything, and I will drink it, finish everything that is in the cup. So that way, at least I'm sure I am ingesting the clove, not just the part of it that can leach into the water, but the whole clove is being ingested.
You are doing the right thing. Do you know that adding that clove prevents constipation and supports free bowels?
Yes, it has a very high fiber content. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay, so my sister Abby from England said the clove water cleansing is something she discovered by chance, though she blends hers to drink as tea, like Dr. Jagbe, I think, and found that it cleared her skin beautifully. So that's another thing it does, clears the skin from her experience. And Sir Haman from Britain is asking, what can you recommend for prostate issues? That is drink and eating patterns. It says, is there anything wrong with brown pasta also? Brown pasta.
The first question was what?
What can you recommend for prostate issues? That is something to drink or eating patterns that can prevent prostate problems.
Okay. Now, there are two cases of prostate problems. Yes. Prostate enlargement, which is benign, and prostate malignancy, cancer. So the two things have to be viewed in different ways. For both the enlargement and cancer, what we call saw palmetto is a form of royal palm whose seeds are used. Saw palmetto, SAW.
I wrote SAL. SAW, sir.
Yes. Saw palmetto.
PALME.
No, the palmetto is correct.
Okay. Saw palmetto.
That is very, very important. But apart from that, turmeric.
The spice or the root, sir?
Yeah, the root is the spice, the rhizome.
So it doesn't matter.
The rhizome, the underground rhizome is what is used. And if you are going to use turmeric, there should be a pinch of black pepper added.
Yeah.
Yes.
A combination of the things I'm mentioning is what should be used. The third thing that is very important and common is garlic. Garlic. Some people don't like garlic because it's so sharp. But those who don't like garlic should be in the habit of eating onions in their diet. Now, what I'm saying is very practical. It works.
So are you saying, sir, the turmeric with, we have to put that pinch of black pepper so that we can absorb it better?
Exactly.
With garlic, sir, are you saying combine garlic with that?
All the things I'm saying should be combined.
With the saw palmetto for the prostate?
Yes.
Okay.
You are going to form a formula from what I'm saying in different ratios. I cannot say all the ratios right now, but at least if the one has the substances, some amount of wisdom will say that averagely the same ratio should be used, Like if you are using 5 of them, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20%. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So moderation.
Moderation, yeah.
Sir, there's another question. Is there anything wrong with brown pasta?
Well, I'm not very familiar with pasta. Well, Dr. Ajagbe?
Dr. O, so
yes, sir.
the different kinds of brown pastas, some of them are made from lentil. So if
lentil is good.
If the pasta is made from lentil, it's okay. But if it's made from wheat flour, which is probably just the brown wheat flour, because it's supposed to have higher fiber content, I will not anyway. I don't recommend that. I would recommend anything if you want to eat pasta. You can have sweet potato pasta. You could have, lentil pasta, and those are pretty healthy.
Correct.
Thank you, sir. So a question here says, does it matter if the onions are cooked or raw? When
it doesn't matter.
People who don't like garlic should incorporate onions into their diet. Does it matter if they cooked or raw, sir?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No.
Fantastic. So, did you say to add ginger to the turmeric and black pepper, sir?
Yes.
No, ginger
and turmeric work the same way. Okay. So both of them can be used. Yeah.
Fantastic. They are both anti-inflammatory,
exactly.
Primarily. Mm-hmm. So the constituents of onion is quercetin.
Not only quercetin.
The most active of the ingredient that we benefit the most from onion is quercetin. And the higher concentration, you have a higher concentration in garlic. They see a similar thing in onions.
There's another substance there which is in both of them, allicin. That's very important too.
Fantastic. So on the in the chat box, Dr. Ajay and Dr. Daniel Akinade have put different places where one can get the cloves. So there's another question here, sir. What is the frequency for cleansing with clove water? It was suggested, and there's a follow-up, sir, that I want you to take with that, because our brother Patrick said that he understands cloves are very good for our health, but here also that it shouldn't be taken more than 2 a day. If not, it could be dangerous to the organs. So to that, I would say that Papa had already said, you should take the powder form. What Toyin said was that take 1 teaspoon of the clove, put it into the water, add all the water that you're going to drink for the day and sip it through the day for 5 to 7 days for cleansing. So the question that is then asked is how often should the cleansing be done? Dr. Fawole asked that question. How frequent should the cleansing be done, sir? So 5 to 7 days and it's done. How often should one do that?
Well, it depends on how the person feels in his body. It can be even once in 3 months.
Okay. Right. Yes. Yep. So somebody who has very high stress, stressful kind of work environment, I think can do it more frequently.
Yeah.
Because the oxidative process that is going on in the body are more, toxic. And most of this detoxification is actually reducing the oxidative stress that's going on in the body. So, if somebody is really stressed out by the kind of job they do, once every 2 months for 7 days every 2 months is adequate.
I think so. In addition to the diet will determine how frequently the person takes it. If the person is on very good diet, which is mainly vegetative, then he doesn't have to take it too close.
Right. People who are under stress are constantly probably just taking fast food to be on the go. So that's the reason why doing it more frequently will be ideal for such people.
Okay, fantastic. This was really enlightening. There is a program, it's free. It's a 30-day challenge that Toyin is doing, and I'm posting the link. If you're interested, please register. They started today for the prep. It's starting in March. So we are still in time to do it. I think it's worth it to learn a lot. It's a free program, 30 days. I've reposted it right now in the chat box. If anybody is interested, it's holistic, it's for better health. I guess the reason why this is always important to me is because of the mad increase in cancer that we are seeing. It's incredible. And a lot of it has to do with diet. So we all need to have lifestyle changes. And that's why we don't discuss just our allopathic part of medicine. We bring on our respectable naturopaths like Papa Dr. Mike Oye, who is world-renowned. Isn't this a gift that, we have all these people? We've brought Dr. Gillum also, and, now our sister Toyin Joe-Bassey. So are there any other questions? Because if there is none, I will say good night and wish us.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead, sir.
Madam Lara sent me something that I thought would be appropriate to share here.
Okay.
That some researchers in Australia reported that the dental problems that most people experience, like cavity and gum disease and all of that stuff, may not be as directly related to what we assume were the problems, were the causative agents, like the diet and the habit of not keeping their oral hygiene very good. That is a challenge, something to stimulate thought. So I really don't know how many people will have stumbled on that information, since we are talking about lifestyle change and to improve our health. I think while we're still trying to figure out whether the extent of the condition being identified as being the new cause of dental problem, which is what they call the silent reflux, is the same thing as pharyngolaryngeal reflux. That kind of a thing, I think, is still requires a lot of investigation to be sure that the lifestyle change that we're trying to encourage one another to do can be more effective, so we just don't ignore any of these things. I thought that was something new. I never knew that before in relation to dental problem. So if anybody has heard of that before, I think there might be a time that we'll be able to talk more about some of those pressing new information that can truly impact our lifestyle changes in a positive way. So I thought I should just mention that. I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but thank you, Madam Lara, for sharing that with me.
I think that is excellent. And thank you for sharing it with us, because it's important to even know what is silent reflux. The person having reflux knows they're having reflux. And they get in their behind kicks is what brings them to us. But when there's silent reflux that you're having that maybe is not even symptomatic, you don't even know you have it. It's like somebody that has COVID that don't know, but they're spreading it. That is something that we need to look into, define, and share ASAP as soon as possible. Thank you for that information. When you mentioned it, I was thinking about people who have these dental issues and lose their teeth. In Nigeria, when people lose their teeth, like all their teeth, they say, it's voodoo that they were doing, that they were putting something in their mouth that now caused them to lose all their teeth. It was here in the US that I learned otherwise. I know that's not the case. Some people have periodontal diseases and they lose their teeth that they have to have dentures, and a lot of people wear dentures here. Is why we don't know that. We have a lot to learn, but we will continue learning. Thank you so much, sir. Oh, I almost missed this. Auntie BC said cloves have good aroma and that she boils it in water to freshen the air. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it's aromatic.
I didn't know that.
If you want to use that as well, you can add a little bit of vinegar to the boiling water with the clove, and any particularly African type of foods that we cook, like okporoko, iru, all those things that don't smell too nicely unless we taste them. If you want to deodorize your space, all you need to do is just put some clove and a little bit of vinegar in a pot of water and let them just steam together. Perfect fragrance.
Yes, I do that when I'm cooking curry. I boil water in vinegar, but it has to start boiling already before I cook the curry. Well, now I'm going to add clove. Thank you, Professor. Can't do without you.
I know, right? Thank you so much. That is interesting. Even when cooking, stockfish, you know how that one smells. That would be a good one. So
yeah, Dr. I also posted a link to show 8 surprising benefits of the cloves for anyone who is interested. So it's there in the chat. Or do you want me to repost it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One second.
Dr. Okpeyemi Adewale, kindly ask your question all the way from Nigeria. Respect. I have respect. Thank you. Ask your question.
Yeah,
he's also a dentist, by the way.
Good evening, good evening, sirs, and everyone. In Nigeria is good morning. With respect to the speaker said something with respect to the issue of H. pylori the other time as being found not to really be a major cause of cancer. I mean, ulcer. But she said something that I want to agree fully with respect to the issue of dehydration. So I'm trying to link things that the new thought that Dr. Professor Ajagbe just mentioned with respect to the recent silent reflux. Now, they found out that H. pylori now is also associated with some periodontal diseases. Now, at times I look at the prevention aspect of most of the diseases. Dehydration will eventually lead to more of acidic concentration of the body. So taking enough water and acidic environment. So taking enough water, we with respect, or in addition to the other things that we have been taught, is very, very important. Now, come back to the issue of the silent reflux. When it is found that H. pylori that's supposed to be in the stomach is being found in the what we call subgingival environment. Sorry for using that. I don't know what I'm going to use. The term subgingival in the sense that in the pocket around the teeth, we found that they can isolate H. pylori in some patients. So it means that there is a kind of a thing something that will bring what do you call it? The bacteria, these bacteria that like acidic environment in the stomach, and bring it to the mouth to cause periodontal disease. So it's something that we can still find out more things about it. But I think we can, with little evidence that we have, first of all, the prevention is very, very important. But there is a link with some of, there will be a link to some of all these things. I just want to make that contribution, and it's still open for us to gain more knowledge. But H. pylori, like I said, is being found in the oral environment, so that the issue of reflux, that is something coming from the stomach, being found in the oral environment, is something that we should also look at and think about when it comes to oral diseases. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Dr. O?
Go ahead, sir.
Is that Adewale, the same Adewale I know? This Mike O is speaking.
No, this is a young man in Ife.
Yes.
No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Huh?
Opayemi, do you know Papa Mike Oye?
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
I don't think
he doesn't know me.
I've been hearing you on this platform for on several occasions, sir.
Oh, okay.
Well done, sir. Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ethel, that's another dentist in the house. Kindly unmute and share with us, please. Dr. Ethel.
Yes, please. Sorry, I had to get my volume. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi,
Thank you
Dr.
so
O.
much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I just came in about 15, 20 minutes ago, and very thankful to see Dr. Sir giving the speech correlating with dentistry and the effects. That's very true, especially as my colleague said for periodontal disease. That is a big area that we have to really enlighten and teach our fellow patients and also family members, because we, especially Africans, have a lot more periodontal disease compared to cavities. And we should emphasize on the health of cardiac, the premature babies, and also the H. pylori was something I just learned myself right now. It's very, very important. So if we can have a session with dentistry, be more than happy to share some knowledge, please. Thank you.
Doctor, do you want me to say something? No? Hello?
Hello?
I was talking. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I was muted. I didn't realize. Doctor, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Dr. O. Thank you,
I was
ma'am.
saying, can you please share your contact with me?
Yes, please, I will.
And it would be fantastic to have a dental day, or, we'll chat.
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
we have a few dentists on here, and
Awesome.
Dr. Jagbe has been speaking like he's a naturopath. He's actually a dentist.
Awesome.
He's an oral pathologist.
Excellent.
And was the head of pathology at Howard for like 21 years.
I'm a Howard grad 95, dental.
Wow.
Yes.
Dr. Jagbe, were you there then?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
Yes. So you probably know each other.
I think I do.
You should have known me, because I taught your oral histology and
correct.
Oral pathology.
I do remember you, doctor. I do.
She does. Ooh, so we're going to have you on, Dr. Ethel. Please share your contact with me.
I will. Definitely.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that contribution.
Appreciate that, man.
Dr. Jagbe, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was going to say, concur with what she requested, that why don't we just maybe have a program where all the dentists will participate, and we'll just take it pretty much like a mini symposium